Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the continuing saga of the Hexagon Challenge as we play against Utulei again here. This is season number 2, match number, I don't know, 5, I believe. 5th match of the season. We're in 3rd place. I don't know what happened there. We're not going to do any of this stuff. I already set up the team the way that I wanted, and we'll see how we do here in this match. We are in in 3rd place after the first 4 matches of the season. Now we do have a game in hand on the teams ahead of us, but we need to start playing a little bit better here too. We've had a couple of problems here lately, including a loss in the second game of the season, which is the reason why we find ourselves in this place in the league. Now I do think that we will be able to recover, because I don't think that these other teams are necessarily that much better than us, but we do need to be about our winning ways. Hopefully a couple of these changes I've made to the tactics, as you saw in recent videos, will end up bearing fruit. The thing that I really hope is that we're able to score more goals using an actual buildup instead of just lumping the ball forward like we tend to do in every game. And here is Palipua with the ball here in the back, and slow down a little bit, and he lumps it forward again. So much for that. But fortunately, we were able to win that in midfield. And Joe Coraidi ends up with the yellow card. So that is the end of that highlight. Here is Famoana taking this free kick, and it goes all the way back to Tualele, and then all the way back to Piario, who lumps it forward for Maele. Maele passes it forward to Ledoux, but his goal is not going to count because Maele is adjudicated to be offside. Now, I don't think he was actually offside, but it didn't show as much of a replay, so it was kind of hard to see. Tia with the ball now. Knocks this one forward, ends up with Xavier over to Coriadi, over to Foy Danielson, and he finds Chris Famoana, who blasts one in for a goal. That'll be number 2 of the season if he's onside, and they're going to call that offside again. That was a little more clearly offside. But man, he just totally blasts that one in. And yeah, you can see. I mean, he was clearly not playing by the rules. But it must have felt really good for him to blast that one into the back of the net. Now, if we can just do it in a way that actually counts, then I'll be a little bit happier. Famoana with the ball again, and takes it back here to Palipua. This is lumped forward to Maele. Maele wins it over to Foy Danielson, over to Xavier now, who knocks it back to Palipua. Palipua nups it forward for Foy Danielson, and that's not really what we want to see him doing. I think that he lost the header. I think that's the reason why it went back to their goaltender. What we want to see him do is pull that one down and then try to find a crossing player. Maele over to Palipua, and he finds Famoana. Famoana gets behind the defense, over to Maele now. Maele passes it forward for Ledoux. Ledoux lumps this one to the other side for Danielson, who knocks it really, really ugly over to Maele, who gets a header that doesn't really go anywhere near the goal. And it remains 0-0. So we've had a lot of action here so far, but we haven't had a lot of well-directed action, unfortunately. Famoana with it over to Maele, and then ends up being lumped forward for Ledoux, who just cannot get onto it. It's a little bit too slow, and we're having more of the same type of problem. Tualele ends up with it over to Piario, and he numps it forward for Maele, and then it's over to Chris Famoana, and he passes it forward to Foy Danielson, and that's a beautiful pass, and that one's actually going to count. So the 3rd time that we've stuck one to the back of the net, and it finally counts. We're only 15 minutes into this match, and we're already showing our dominance. Famoana does a great job of getting the entire defense to go over to him, and then finds the wide open player, and I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. No way you can stop that. 1-0 for PanSa East FC, and as I've told you, I think that we really are the best team in this league. You can see that, yeah, I mean, there might be some case to be made for being offside, but I don't think anyone's going to call that. There is definitely a good case to make that we are actually the best team in this league and that we should be dominating every one of these matches. We just need to get our players playing on the same page, and we'll be all right. Famoana with his ball over to Foy Danielson, and he knocks it back to Famoana, who takes that shot from range, which is exactly what we want him to do that time. He just cannot get that one to be on target. He had blasted one to the net before that was judged to be offside, and if he had done the exact same thing there, it would have been fine. Their goaltender ends up knocking it straight back to Atu. This is the same old Atu who hasn't played yet this season, our old goaltender. I thought I'd put him back in, give him a chance, because our big guy, the new guy, is injured. Here's Chris Famoana again, and he's going to score that one every day of the week. The flag is not up, and he is onside, and that makes it 2-0 there for PanSa East FC, and that's as easy as it is. So we don't like him lumping it forward too much, but when you're doing this, it's not too bad. Famoana is clearly onside, and I mean, no one's even going to get close to him, and he does what you're supposed to do, right? We've seen a lot of this in recent matches, and we've seen guys get the ball in close point-blank range and then do weird things with it. I mean, he does what you're supposed to do. He's onside, clearly. He gets the ball here and just runs over to the goaltender, makes the keeper make a choice, and then knocks it where the keeper didn't go. And there you go. There you have your goal. Second goal of the season for him, and it's 2-0 PanSa East FC. Peario now with the throw over to Ledu. Ledu back to Peario. Over to Utulei, and it goes up to Maile, who takes a shot, and that is deflected by the keeper into the side bar. And so Maile, with a little bit of poor luck there, has got to be really, really upset about that one. I know that Maile hasn't been scoring this season the way that he did last season, but it's perfectly fine because we're trying to build up players around him to give us a few more choices and improve the offense. I'm okay with him passing a little bit more often if that's what he is okay with doing. Palepua ends up knocking this one back over, and they are called for offside. That means that Atu here will have the ball for a goal kick over to Palepua. We want Atu definitely to do that. We don't want Atu to try to knock the ball deep because he can't pass. And here is Xavier there with it over to Ledu. Ledu with the shot on goal. That was a really, really good attempt. A very, very good pass by Xavier finding Ledu. And it's just so unfortunate that you see their goaltender, when you watch him there, he is able to get in good position for that. It's a little bit unfortunate that wasn't a little bit more. Of course, if Ledoux had passed instead of just taking the shot, maybe something else would have happened, but it's all right. Biario over to Ledoux now. Ledoux over to Fao Danielson, and his header is in there for goal number 3 of the season for Fao Danielson, who is he got 2 today, and who is really, really an excellent player. I think he was the man of the match the last match that we had, if I remember correctly. And boy, this is pretty good, isn't it? Fao Danielson just wins the header. He's tall enough, he's big enough, and he struts the stuff as he walks off. 3-0 for PanSa East FC here in the first half, and here's Ledoux with the corner. And he lumps this one forward. Looking for Peario, can't quite find him, and it ends up being knocked back to him. They do it with it again, takes a shot from range, and nothing on that. And we will have to wait for their goal kick and see if we can get the ball back. It is a throw in for them. And let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can get this one back off of them here somewhere, somehow. And instead, it ends up being Poli there with a shot on goal, but I'm pretty sure that he's offside, and they have called that for offside. And as you can see right here, right there, yeah, he's where's the pass here? It's right here. Yeah, he's lined up the whole time behind the defense, which is what caused that to happen. Now, we're not playing with any sort of offside trap on, but it's basically been the same thing as playing with the offside trap on. So we'll go ahead and take that. We do have a player here. Peario is having another poor game. We're going to put Walter Assam back in. I don't think he's played yet this season. So let's see what Walter Assam can do, and maybe he'll end up winning himself the starting role in the end. 3-0 for PanSa East FC, and really what we want to do is we want to see a good defensive effort as they try to do some stuff like that. Atu able to run over and grab that ball. As I said before, Atu not exactly the best goaltender in the league, but it's good to have him on our side when we need somebody. And, every now and then guys will get injured. Ledoux takes the corner over to Palepua, whose header is just offline, and he goes out for a goal kick. Maile now with the ball passes it forward, a good looking forward pass, and just cannot find the target. And let's see if we can get this ball back now again. And Logo over to Nusuala, and it's Tualau Lele who is able to knock that one forward, but only as far as Poli for them. That's going to be a goal for Utulei. Now, I've really got to put the blame not on the defender, but on Atu, the goalkeeper, who looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean... That was pretty poor. That was pretty poor. I mean, he should have been able to at least run after the ball and grab it instead of sort of trotting forward to the right side and standing there and picking his nose. That was pretty poorly done. So let's see what we can get going here. Let's see if we can get something back. The ball was hit forward for Chris Famoana, who unfortunately is not quite in the right position for it. And, boy, there's a shot from range. Atu's able to grab that one, thankfully, and we live to see another day. We're going to probably have to take Joe Corardi off, who's playing that defensive midfielder role. I think I've said it before. We don't actually have any defensive midfielders on the squad. We're kind of just playing the role and putting midfielders in there. Chris Famuana with the shot on goal, and it doesn't quite happen. So we're going to go ahead here, and this is what we want. We're going to take off Corardi, and we'll put Sasala on for him instead, and see how this goes. So playing players out of position as usual, and that's just sort of the way that we're going to have it happen from now on. We are probably not going to find a lot of defensive midfielders here in American Samoa because I've looked and there's just not a lot of players who can play that position. So that's the way it's going to be. 3-1 the score remains, and here is a corner from Ledoux. Steps back and fires and knocks us over to Walter Assam. That's almost a goal. It looked like it was certainly going to be a goal, and that ended up going just over. Man, that looked really, really good from Walter Asama. That just hits the top crossbar and is just barely over. And okay, we'll take that. That's not too bad. I don't mind that sort of thing happening. And let's see if we can get this turned around a little bit more. Maybe add to our advantage a little bit. It'd be nice to win by more than 2. Ledoux with the ball over to Maile. Maile back to Ledoux. Ledoux takes us forward over to Sasala. Over to Xavier over to Fao Danielson. Fao Danielson takes a shot from range, and boy, that was almost a hat trick for him. And that one just hits the top crossbar again. We've talked about it before. Too many of these shots go off the top crossbar. It's Football Manager's way of denying it from you. Xavier with it now passes it forward for, I think it was Fao Moana. It goes over to Tia, who hits it over to Maile. And how did Toa miss that one? Again, point-blank range should have been a goal every day of the week. That was Chris Famuana needs to improve his running ability a little bit there, and Maile needed to get that header down. I know Maile's only 16 years old. We still have faith in him, but that should have been a goal. That should have easily been a goal. I mean, Tuala Lele now misses the header, and fortunately for us, Atu is able to recover and gets in the right position this time to make the block on the shot. So it remains 3-1, and I think we are going to put Petupoli in there for Maile. Petupoli is not going to miss a point-blank header like that. And so it is, and so it goes. And we'll take a look at this again. We can see Tuala Lele missing his header and giving this chance for Seleni to have a one-on-one with the goaltender. And yeah, that's not exactly what we want to see, but it's all right. Atu passes this one over for Ledoux, Roy Ledoux with it, over to Fao Danielson, who misplays it completely. Ends up back with Tia over to Fao Danielson again, over to Chris Famuana, and he does what he does. He just runs up and takes a shot and forces a really good save by their keeper. Chris Famuana really should have a hat trick by now. Ledoux steps back and fires his corner over to Palipua, who passes it back to him. Is he not offside? He is offside. So that's one of those things that happens to Football Manager from time to time, and just poor decision-making by the players. Fao Danielson with it will lump it. No, he takes a shot. I'm not sure what he was trying to do with that. It's out for a corner. I mean, if he was trying to take a shot, he was going to hit this building over here, so I don't quite understand that. Ledoux with the corner, looking for Walter Assam, can't quite find him. And this ends up out for a goal kick for them. 82 minutes played, a couple minutes left, maybe 10 if we include the injury time. Palipua over to Walter Assam, finds Petupoli, who finds Ledoux. Ledoux will just take a shot, and he should have passed because he had Chris Famuana wide open. So we're still having some problems. I think that this is the attacking role. I think that's why he did that. But let's see, we can't do that because we already took him out, didn't we? All right, Walter Assam with the ball on the line runs back and forth with it there after that corner. This is absolutely ridiculous. Don't ask me what in the world he's doing. Look at this. Look at it. It's over the line. The ball's over the line, and there's no call, fortunately for us. But it was clearly over the line. It should be 3-2. And he's just playing with it right on top of the line. You talk about, driving your car as close to the cliff as you can. That's what he was doing. Famuana ends up having this ball stripped from him back to Palipua. Palipua takes it, walks with it a little bit, over to Petupoli, over to Fao Danielson, to Famuana, who takes a shot again from a poor angle. And so we're having a hard time straightening things out and figuring out how to play our positions. Fao Danielson, I know, really wants to be a striker, and that's the reason why we hired him. But that was a little bit ridiculous, not what we wanted to see from him. Xavier over to Tia. Tia takes it now. They're on the right side, and this is going to be the end of the match, and there it is. So we win this one 3-1. Kind of an ugly performance there in the second half, though, but 3.32 XG, 8 shots on target, 24 shots total, and we're doing okay. We won the possession battle as well. It's just that one frustrating goal that we gave up, but that's about it. See you tomorrow. Bye.